Hello, I'm Sophie from Sophie's Stained Glass. Welcome to my channel. If you're joining me for the first time today, I hope you find some useful videos. There's plenty to choose from. So today I am unboxing my new soldering iron, which is a Weller W101. And then we're going to try it out, and I've got a rather exciting experiment to do with this. More about that later. So there's my soldering iron. It's thermostatically controlled, which means it gets to temperature and it stays at temperature, so it keeps adjusting while you're using it, turning off and on to keep the temperature constant. It has a number 7 tip, which means it heats up to 370 degrees, which is perfect for lead. And people also use it for copper foil. But with the copper foil, you can go higher because obviously with lead, it's got a lower melting point. So you can use a number 8 tip when you're doing copper foil, which gets to 430 degrees. But this is the sort of gold standard for leaded glasswork. So I'm going to plug it in and give it a go. And I should have said that this also comes with these things. This, you bend it up. Ta-da! Which obviously you need. Can't use the soldering iron without a soldering iron rest. So I'm now going to get the next bit of this test ready. I will be back shortly. Hello and welcome to the second part of my test the new soldering iron video. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the opportunity to try out these 4 different mixes of solder. So A is 63 tin to 37 lead. K is 60 tin to 40 lead. F is 50-50. And C is 40-60. And this would be the most expensive and this would be the cheapest. Tin makes it stronger and it helps with the flow as well. So let's give them a try. And what I've done is I've used 1-inch lead because I find this really sucks the heat out of a soldering iron, so that'll be a good test. And I have also made sure that I have got a gap, it's about 2-3 mil, running between these pieces of lead because I want to see how well the different solders jump the gap. Right, so we'll try first of all with A. And that's got a beautiful flow, so we like that. Isn't that nice? Very nice. I got a bit carried away there, nearly went over K. So now let's try K. So this isn't very different in its compound mix. It's got a bit of a bump on the lead there. A bit more challenging for it. But it's doing it. Just need a bit extra solder. So that's not massively different, but not quite as good flow as that one. So now let's try F. F is used by a lot of stained glass artists because it's not the most expensive and it's not the cheapest, but it still does a good job. See, that's pretty nice actually. And now we'll try C, which is the cheapest of them. And that doesn't want to jump the gap as well. I might have run out of... going further down than I anticipated. A bit more tallow in there. That's just generally a bit more lumpy. So you might wonder why the difference 60 to 63, 40 to 37, because it's quite close, isn't it? So when solder cools down after it's heated to temperature, so in all of these its melting point is still the same, but it's the way it cools that's different. And as it cools, it goes, in these three, it goes through a stage where it's a little bit muddy, and then it goes cold. This one, it gets to temperature, hot, and then immediately goes cold. So it doesn't go through a sort of just sticky, muddy stage in between. You may have found occasionally your soldering iron slightly sticking to your solder, and that's what that is. So now you can see the difference between the solders. It's actually less than I'd thought. This is definitely lumpier and didn't flow as well. I'd say there's not a massive difference in these two. That's rather nice. I think if you were doing copper foil, it might be worth going with that one. That's really bright. But I don't do copper foil, so obviously can't really comment. And the soldering iron worked beautifully, so I'm very happy with that. From Reading Stained Glass, about £100. I hope that's been a useful video. I've certainly always wondered about how the different sorts of solder would perform when compared with each other. So now I know there is not a massive difference, so really it's up to you. I'd say if you're a beginner, buy more expensive solder because you'll find it easier. Okay, thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe.